So by the end of class today, I would like you to be able to give me an example of probability or something that you see in your life. Maybe you use it, an example of probability, and I also want us to be able to come up with our own definition for probability. Okay? So to start off, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples that I see on a day-to-day basis with probability, or maybe that I use. Weather. Every single day, I think about probability involving weather. Can someone think of an example from that? From weather? Adam?
The percent chance of rain.
The percentage for what is our chance to have rain, maybe today or tomorrow. What do you think our chance for today would be?
0.
Or to have rain forecasted? 0% chance, I would say. Can anyone think of a different example? Lane?
Chance of snow.
Chance of snow. Do you think we have any probability today for chance of snow?
1%.
Maybe like a 1%. Do you think our probability would be, do you think our probability of having rain would be higher or lower than having snow today?
Lower.
Lower. Can someone raise their hand and tell me why it would be lower? Will?
It's winter.
It's winter.
It's very cold.
And it's very, very cold. So our probability of having snow would be higher. And our probability of having rain would be lower. Awesome. How about sports predictions? Can someone give me, what do you think the probability of Iowa beating Iowa State next year in basketball would be?
It's really low.
Will, you think really low? Why would you think really low? Listen to Will.
Iowa State is better.
Iowa State is
biased. Let's put football.
Okay, listen please. Now, how many teams do we have playing in a basketball game? Two teams.
So it's 50% chance it's 50-50.
But why is it 50% chance?
Because 50% plus 50% equals 100%.
50% plus 50% equals 100%. We have two teams. They're both in a perfect world. You'll probably hear me say that a lot when we're talking about probability. In a perfect world, Iowa and Iowa State have a 50% chance of beating each other. Now, you can start talking about statistics and skill level and things like that, and you might think that one might have a higher probability than the other. But when we're talking about probability, we always think about what would happen if we're trying to decide a probability. We would always think about what would happen in a perfect world. Mathematically, that would be 50% for each of them. Okay? How about odds in a game? Can you think of like a board game that you've ever played, or Morgan?
Like dice.
Dice.
Dice. I love that game.
Listen.
I mean, like rolling a dice, like what the odds are of getting a certain number.
Yeah, rolling the dice. So what would your odds be if you just have one?
1/6.
Dice.
So that'd be like.
How many sides would you have if you have 1/6 and rolling one number?
6.
6. Okay. Now let's watch this up here a little bit. How many sides does this dice have?
6.
Okay.
You roll a 5.
Do you see which one is the one that's chosen?
Yep.
It's the one that like turns colors, red or something.
3.
4.
4.
5.
I'm gonna go out on the limb.
What do you think the odds are of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row are?
Very small. Pretty likely because that's
Good.
beautiful.
Listen, raise your hand. Colin, what do you think?
It's a 1/6. You have like it's an even chance for each thing. It's just.
Yep, an even chance of rolling each one. Lane, why did you say low?
I did.
Did you say low probability of getting 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row?
Well, it's hard because like every time you like get it in a row, you have another 6% chance to get like the number you need.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's getting smaller and smaller chance.
Yeah,
to get it, and
definitely. Okay, now we will be talking about dice in a lot of our probability problems, okay? And we will actually mathematically calculate the probability for different situations, okay? How about a coin?
50.
Raise your hand.
Tails. Head.
Yep, we have a 50% chance of rolling either. Celia or Adam. How about the spinner down here?
25% chance.
Colton, I would have loved it if you raised your hand, but I like your answer. Thank you. What do you think?
25% chance.
Why 25%? And 25% what?
What do you mean? What?
Chance of getting
Chance of getting red or
Chance of getting how many colors?
one color.
Just one color. Awesome. Why is it 25%?
Because 100 divided by 4 is 25.
Okay. How about if I said, what's your probability or what's your chance of landing on a red and a white? Or a red or a white, I mean. Out of
50%.
50%. Awesome. Because technically, we just need to roll or land on at least half of that spinner. Okay? Now, last thing, I have test score predictions. You think of an example from that?
Nelson's gonna get 0%.
No. You don't talk about other people.
So fun.
What about a true and false test?
50-50.
50-50. Yep.
Or if it's like multiple choice, like 4 letters and you have
Awesome. Lane says if we have a multiple choice test and there's 4 choices, you have a 25% chance of getting that problem correctly. Okay?
It's probably 5%.
Hopefully it would be a little bit higher than that.
You like
But
7 billion percent chance.
okay, now I want you to think about, this is where our post-it notes come into hand. I don't want you to talk right now. What I want you to do is just think about an example that you have seen or that you've used in your life. If you can't think of one that you have seen or used, that's okay. But I really want that to be your goal. Okay, something that you've witnessed that uses probability. Yep, and you'll write it on your post-it note, and then once you are finished, I'll give you about a minute to think of it, and then after that, I'll have you share with a neighbor or an elbow partner, someone close to you. Okay? Try to be creative. Now, if you give me a silly idea, would your probability be high or low? If it's something kind of obnoxious and maybe something that's not necessarily possible? It can be something off the wall. It can be something that maybe wouldn't happen. But then you just have to be able to tell me about that probability.
That's not even a challenge.
Okay, let's take 30 more seconds of quiet time and then I'll let you share.
You and I beat Iowa.
Zach? Yeah? 30 more seconds.
When you're going to football, you got to choose which side you're going to get. Choose which you want to do, get the ball or kick the ball.
What are your idea?
50% chance of getting right. Not really.
Okay, you can now share. Share with somebody close to you.
They want the losers bracket.
Okay, if you are finished sharing, I'd like you to come post your note up here somewhere. Squeeze them in there.
I got 0%.
You don't have to write your name on it, no.
off a quick thing.
Can we write our name on it?
Okay, and then get out of the way.
We don't have to. Like, we're surviving. Dude, mine's oddly the best. Chances of turning into Spider-Man being hit by a radioactive spider.
Okay, 7th graders, I will be doing something with these later, so don't worry about reading them right now. We'll be sure that you get to read them later. Okay, would anyone like to share theirs?
There was a kid.
Justin, right? Okay, listen to Justin. Give him your full attention and your respect, please.
I put chances of turning into Spider-Man if you get bit by a radioactive spider.
What was your chances? A 0% chance of that? Okay, good. I like it.
That was really good.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Was that a good example? No. Does his probability make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Now I told you if you think of something silly, that's okay.
It's not zero.
You just have to back it up with your probability.
It's physically, Zach, it's physically impossible.
Yes, Zach.
But, it technically wouldn't be 1% because that guy got bit by a spider and
That was a movie. It was okay.
But you still did.
Okay, other examples? Ramsey?
1 in 8 chance of somebody winning a heat and swimming.
How many heats would you have?
I was thinking of 1 heat.
Okay, how many people would be in that heat then?
8.
8.
It's really good then.
So if there's 8 people in a swimming heat, you'd have a 1 in 8 chances of winning that heat. Awesome. Adam?
It's like a 1 in big number for winning the lottery.
Why a 1 in a big number?
1 in a
I don't know the exact.
Listen to Adam. Adam, what?
I don't know the exact number.
That's okay, but why wouldn't it be a 1 in a really small number, like 1 in 3 chance?
Because everybody
Adam?
plays the lottery.
Because a lot of people play the lottery, okay? And would a 1 in a really, really big number, like 1 in a million chance, be a higher probability or lower probability than 1 in 5? Lower. Awesome. Okay, Morgan's turn.
I said the probability of drawing a certain letter from a Scrabble bag.
The probability of drawing a certain Scrabble letter from the bag. Awesome. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Do you think we could actually mathematically figure out that probability?
No, wait.
Show me your thumbs.
26.
I mean, not right now. We don't have it in front of
No, but
us.
there's multiples in every letter.
Yeah.
What do you
Like,
think?
spell like straight.
Some people say so-so. Thumbs up, people. Why do you think we could do that?
Because
Colin?
we just have to know how many letters there are in each Scrabble bag.
Yep, you'd have to know how many total letters. Okay. Someone else brought up a good point, though. Remember, Ramsey?
There's multiple letters in the bag.
There's multiple letters in the bag. Could we still think about probability? Maybe we don't know the exact method to do right now.
Oh, I do.
But yes, we could do that. Hopefully by the end of our unit, we will be able to figure that out. Okay? Anyone else want to share a different example? Maybe something that has a high probability. So you might have to think of a specific example. Seth?
Living when jumping off a desk.
Living when jumping on your desk? Why would that be a high probability?
It's not very tall.
It's not very tall.
What if you went head first right now?
No. Okay.
No,
what if you're jumping?
What if
Anyone
someone has a
else?
gun and shot you while you're jumping?
Okay, listen. Anyone else want to share? Okay. So, now 7th graders, our next task is I want to be able to write a definition for probability. Okay, you can take your spiral notebook out right now. Alright, listen please.
What's the principal's name?
Okay, anyone have an idea? How could we describe probability? Now that we've gone over a lot of examples, what words would we use to describe probability?
Chance.
Lane, chance,
Yeah.
okay?
Percentage.
Use words like chance, percentage, okay? Now, could I just say a word like your chance is low?
Yeah.
Does that tell you about the probability?
Yeah, because you probably gonna lose.
So you can maybe just use those words. You could also say your percentage would be low. Okay. What else? Numerical values. What else could we use besides a fraction? Decimal. Any other ideas? Olivia? Yeah, percentages. Percents. Okay, now, can we come up with a statement to describe probability? Olivia, do you have one?
Chance of something happening.
The chance of something happening, that would be okay. The chance of something happening. Awesome. Can we use other words besides chance?
The probability.
Probability. How about besides probability or chance? The percentage.
Fraction.
What am I thinking?
What was one of the first words that I talked about? How about likelihood?
That word.
Perfect
world.
Okay, in a perfect world. Perfect world would be, okay. Any other examples that you'd like to include?
No.
Okay, I have a couple of definitions typed up. So the definition that I came up with is the chance that something will happen or how likely it is that an event will occur. That was very similar to what we came up with as well.
That's exactly.
Now, I also said that math can help us decide how likely an event is to occur, right? So we didn't do much with it today. We did, I think, we came up with some exact percentages for probability, but we can even do more with that. Like we could calculate what our probability of rolling a double would be with 2 6-sided dice. Okay? We can use numbers like percentages, like 50% chance of snow. Now you could also just use words like unlikely, possible, impossible, probable. Why could we use a word like fair? Fair, unfair. Alex? Using fair, it would determine the percentage. Right, good. Anything else to add with fair or unfair? If you only had 2 people playing a board game, and your probability of winning was only 30%, do you think that game is fair or unfair?
Unfair.
Raise your hand if you think unfair. Okay. Cassidy, why do you think that would be unfair?
Because there's 2 people playing a game and it should be 50-50.
Yeah,
So if one's 30% and the other person has a higher percentage.
exactly. Maybe for some reason that other person that has a higher percent, the person that has, yeah, the person that has a higher percent, they might be cheating somehow, right? They might have some sort of advantage over the other person. Okay, the last thing that we are going to look at is a number line. Now, with probability, what do you think I would put a number line up here? And even something like, why do you think I would write a 0 and a 1?
Oh, because there's decimal points.
Raise your hand. How can we apply this to probability, Justin? Okay, think about 0. How could we apply that to probability? It's just what you would think. Seth?
You put a 0 because usually number lines start at 0.
Usually number lines start at 0. Good. What about probability? Alex? Awesome. 0% of winning something or something like that. Would you have a likely chance or an unlikely chance?
Impossible.
Impossible. Justin, I love that. 0 would be impossible.
What?
Where?
Impossible to win. Impossible to happen.
Oh, I see.
Something like that. What would 1 be?
Unlikely.
Who said certain? Raise your hand if you said certain. Adam, why is 1 certain?
Because it's like going to happen 100%.
It is going to happen. If we have a probability, now, typically you wouldn't say your probability is 1, but Adam added and said that 1 is just 100%. Do you agree that 1 is 100%? What's 100 divided by 100? 1. What's 50 divided by 50? 1. Good. What would I have in the middle? 0.5. 50 what? 50%. What would your chances be like if you were at 50%? Can you use a different word?
Fair?
You do fair, equal, so even.
Equivalent.
That's what equal.
Justin?
Where on the number line, if I put an example up here, like the probability of an asteroid falling from the sky, where on my number line would that go?
So,
0.1% is going to happen at some point.
Closer to 0 or closer to 1?
1, it's gonna be a 1.
Because it's gonna happen
It's just a
one
matter of time.
Adam?
44 tons of asteroids follow.
Yeah, asteroid.
Okay,
Yes.
listen, let me rephrase this.
Oh.
What do you think our odds would be of seeing an asteroid fall at Prairie Point?
Like about
It's just a matter of time.
It's really just a matter of time. Like eventually the atmosphere might go away and then
It's
raise.
actually probably fall.
The atmosphere goes
Good. Okay, let's bring it back together. 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you. Okay. Now, last thing I want you to think about. The last thing that I want you to think about. Could we ever have a probability higher than 1? Do not say anything. Think to yourself. Could we have a probability higher than 1? Don't say anything yet. Hey, share with your neighbor. What do you think? Tell them why. Back it up, whether yes or no.
Wait, that was
Yeah, we can just change
What do you girls think?
Okay, so you
You said yes. Can you think of an example?
when someone wants that,
You thinking?
no, I want to what else we do.
Morgan and Tori, what do you girls think? Could you think of an example?
It's a range 6. Well, you roll 2 6. The first one is the guy.
That's 10%.
Okay.
100.
Okay, bring it back together in 3, 2,
Okay.
1, and 0. Raise your hand if you think that you can have a probability higher than 1. Raise your hand if you don't think that you can have a probability higher than 1. Is someone that says that you think that you can have a probability higher than 1? Tell me why. Colton?
Because there's arrows on that number line you have.
Oh.
It doesn't go on forever.
There are, but so far I'm only just talking about this. Good point.
Oh!
Keep it quiet.
Now we're stuck. We're a group, teacher.
Okay, stay with me. So, I don't want you to think about the number line. We're only talking about this. Adam, why do you think yes?
Like bonus questions on like tests or whatever, so you can get like any class versus a
Okay. So you could get higher than 100% on a test. Is that probability though? Alex?
So there's like 100.
But it could
Listen to Alex, please.
There's like 200 balloons in a bag.
Okay.
You would repeat
No, then you still have 100%.
Would I have higher than 100%
No.
chance?
Yeah, you have a 200% chance.
No, you still have 100% chance of getting a blue, please.
No.
You reach in 100%.
Could I ever be more than certain? I know people say that, but mathematically speaking, and if we want to be exactly correct, could I ever say something is higher than certain?
Yeah, you calculate it.
Or higher than 100%? Or higher percent than 100? What do you think?
No.
Or Olivia, did you change your answer?
Yeah.
Why are you thinking no now?
Because if there's 200 pieces, it doesn't really matter, like, the number of the pieces, it just matters what your chances.
It just matters what your chance is. Your chance would just be 100% chance. I'm so glad you brought that up though, Alex. Okay, so you are correct. Hopefully I've brought everyone on board now. You cannot have a probability higher than 1. If your odds are out the door, you would still only have a 100% probability, or 100% chance of that happening. Okay? Thumbs up if you feel good about that. Thumbs down if you think you need a little bit more time.
I'm more certain.
Alright. I need